We need to like do our own thing at some point.
Hello, everybody.
Yes.
Hey.
Hello, everyone. Happy New
Hello.
Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Everybody, welcome to Irongeek Cast number 50. Welcome to 2018.
Woo!
Got a few things in the show notes. I guess I should probably do the normal announce what all cons I'll be at recording. Let's see what I got. I actually cleared out the ones from last year. Looks like BSides Huntsville, February 2nd and 3rd is my first one. I think I'm going to be there for the 3rd. BSides Tampa, February 17th. BSides Nova, February 24th. BSides Columbus, March 2nd. Oh, cool. March 2nd. And BSides Indy, March 10th. And I got a bunch more coming up after that. Like March 31st is BSides Chattanooga. And I'll just leave it at that. One of my favorite, though, is BSides Nashville. That's coming up on April the 14th. And I might as well go ahead and say BSideSCharm, which would be April 28th to the 29th.
Is that sold out already?
I have no idea. It is a decent-sized conference, all things considered. My first time was last year.
Which one, Charms or Nova, or which one?
Charm and Nova actually were the first ones last year. I don't know if they did Nova before. I know Charm had happened before, and then it had me come on as videographer last year.
Nova, that was the first time they did that con. Charm, that one's been running since like 2014, 15.
Cool.
Yeah.
And we'll be doing BSides Bloomington later in 2018. So we're just starting to get that going. Like we got
updates.
Okay, please.
You call it A-Sides instead, Amanda and Adrian. There you go.
we could do that. A-sides. No, I think we're gonna keep this one as a B-sides and see how it goes. I'm actually really looking forward to getting this going. We're thinking September, probably mid-September.
Cool.
Try to get it between Grr and Derby.
Anybody else got some announcements? Who's calling me? Why is someone calling me when I can't answer it?
Girl.
What?
Let me see who this is. Hello, this is Adrian. Resort Reward Center. You know what? The NolaCon list used to work really well. It no longer does. All right. Anybody else got some general announcements or things they want to say?
I'm thinking it's too bad you couldn't have patched that into the chat because that would have been hilarious.
I know.
People out here out of control, man. They're out of control.
All right. I want to bring up something. I just came to my brain when I was thinking about. Someone's asking, can you put the list on your notes? What list do you want? Oh, the list. That list. Okay, I guess I can do that.
Stop listening.
Good. All right. My list has Cyphercon still in it because I just wanted to keep what dates it was going to be in case they change things. But I won't be at Cyphercon, but because it conflicts with something else. But I can try to put this in my notes. Let me see. Where's my show notes? Oh, that's a lot of show notes. I'll put it in the YouTube. No, it's too long for the show notes. I'm sorry. It would just clutter the entire thing.
Yeah.
I'll post it in the chat. Oh, and that looks like hell.
Oh dear God! Did anyone see about just how bad this fucking winter storm is going to get on the East Coast?
They already have like 8 feet of snow. They have like 8
No,
feet.
but it's going to get hurricane force winds.
Oh, exciting! That sucks. All right, you guys get to go on that monitor, and everyone else is going on this monitor. And I'm going to fix my Twitch background because I'm going to start a Twitch channel.
Oh my God!
What are you going to stream?
I'm streaming live crafting and maybe doing my Cisco homework because I can't afford to fail my Cisco classes. I need to practice.
All right, tell no 437. Check the notes that are inside of YouTube, and they'll have it there. It's too long for me to put in my main show notes, but I put it in this particular show's show notes if you really want to see it. Or this particular show's YouTube notes. Okay. All right. Yeah, major storm supposed to be hitting, and I know it's already cold as fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. 6 degrees here right now.
But yeah, one of the things I want to bring up, I had this random thought as I was considering a few things, and Here's the statement. Listen to how the Kilroy event ran into cascading problems because of NDAs and non-competes and drama over recent patent that to some read like patent phishing. Maybe taking a lawyer's language as golden instead of asking how would the community read it is not a good idea. Now, you guys are already familiar with the patent thing I'm referring to from the Georgia stuff.
You're gonna get me yelled at again, man, because I tried to defend her and I got
yeah, you defend her. She gets a little she needs to chill out. But about that one.
Well, what's the matter? Here's my question. Why does she seem to get so upset?
Because you know what? I can. I'm off stream. Give me the. Hold on. I'm yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me there's in the chat thingy.
Because I mean, I like and this is me personally. I like what she's doing. I like what she's done, and trying to get like with mobile. Got you. Okay. Yeah, because I like what she's done, and I give her, if I am her, I'll say, hey, I like what you've done. Keep doing what you've been doing. Don't worry about what other people are saying. But I mean, maybe that's not enough. I don't know. Can't worry. If you try to please people, if you try to please everyone, you'll die early. Just saying.
Yeah, but a lot of her problems was caused by, the lawyerly speak of it, which didn't make a whole lot of sense, and I can't remember what the terminology they used. It just wasn't terminology that you would normally use. And then I'm thinking about this other thing. This is thing called the Kilroy event, which is this conference that's going to be about free speech that someone's organizing. And they got a bunch of people to sign on because everybody on YouTube who does this kind of commentary knows each other. But then the people who were in charge of the event had to spend a lot of money for the venue. And then they also got a lawyer to read over contracts. But the lawyer wrote the contracts in such a way that there was a lot of non-disclosure agreements, which probably that's true because it's probably good because there's going to be some ex-Muslims there. And not all Muslim sects necessarily like apostates very much. So I can understand some of it. But the stuff went overly broad. There's also non-competes, which made no sense for a free speech event. And basically, they seemed to what the lawyer's boilerplate was without any realization of how that would affect this particular free speech community. And then a bunch of people started backing out. But people had already given money in because they wanted to see these particular speakers. But those speakers are no longer speaking, so people are now asking for refunds. But the lady who organized it had always spent a bunch of money. It's just like it showed. If you ever look at the Kilroy event and how it's fallen apart, it shows you how hard it is to actually organize a conference the first year and get shit to go right.
Yes.
There was also some cases where she disinvited some speakers by just saying, "Oh, we're full," but then rescheduled a time slot for someone else. And people, that YouTuber's followers who had already donated money, also wanted a refund. So most of the cases I heard of, it was people backing out of the NDA or because they heard other people back out. But there were a few cases of disinvites for inadequately stated rationales.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mr. Mediker has my primary knowledge of the whole event is from Mr. Mediker, and he's been doing, I think he has 3 parts of a part series because he just keeps laughing and laughing. Everything he just unravels from that.
He also did one on the, what was it, the SlashCon, that Tumblr conference.
Oh, God, yes.
Well, different reasons, I think. But, yeah, I don't know. So, with these 2 incidents, I'm wondering how often people, in different communities should not automatically trust everything their lawyer says and refute themselves and say, how would the average person in this community interpret this?
Well, a good lawyer will give you your copy to read before you do anything with it. And you have a right to look all that stuff over.
You do,
but then how many people really look it over?
I look all my shit over, read it in triplicate, and send it to 3 other people that I trust to have their eyes on it too. I always get second opinions because I've learned I've been burned. I've been bit in the ass before. So before I send out copy, I like to have an editor look at it, someone that I trust.
Yeah.
So a 3-year 2-year NDA seems a little bit excessive. The rationale was to protect some of the Muslim attendees, right?
That was part of it. This is one of the things that heard.
So if that's the rationale, why only 2 years? Why not indefinitely? Is there? Oh, I'm just kind of confused. Why that time frame? Is that going to give them enough time to move out of their country of origin permanently?
Probably not, because most of those countries, well, I know at least for, I think it's Egypt, you have to have X amount of money put in escrow because they want to guarantee that you're going to come back. And so you're basically, in order to leave, you have to like drop like 40K or something in a escrow account, and you've lost it if you don't come back.
Well, then I'm a bit confused as to why. I mean, if you're going to have a long one, why 2 years? That's never really been given explanation I've been satisfied with.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's possible.
There may.
Besides me and you, Live Beef, probably nobody else has even heard of the event. But I just figured it was a great example of where legalese can scare people off, and sometimes, you know, blindly trusting the lawyer to write up good contracts.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, there was
not a
something
marketer.
else in the NDA that I didn't get. Like, you couldn't give a talk anywhere within 100 miles of Phoenix or something like that.
You read it too.
What?
Okay, about too.
Yeah, I haven't read any of this because I've been busy doing life things.
That's crazy. 100 miles within Phoenix?
Yeah.
I wonder why. I'm just curious. Like,
And for a lot of these people, that wouldn't matter because there's only so many of them in the Phoenix area. But still, it seems like a weird thing to be in a contract for speaking at a free speech event.
Yeah.
It just sounds like they didn't research their lawyer, and he just stole someone else's boilerplate.
Mm-hmm.
It looks good.
So if that was the case, then like being the conference organizer, the primary one, she was defending the language, though, right?
Yeah.
As in, I get running conferences can be very difficult, and having familiar with legalese, having to learn that with very short order after a bit of a public drama is a bit much. At the same time, I don't know. It just seems to be a bit of a mess. It could be worse, but it's definitely. I'm not sure if Kilroy's going to be really good. To be going on.
It's something I would chalk up to incompetence more than malfeasance.
Yeah. I would chalk it up to inexperience.
Some of it, yeah. If Mr. Medicare's videos are to be believed, there is a little bit of a favoritism for who she wanted to speak there.
Yeah.
But Mr. Medicare, while entertaining and while he does some good research, so a dedicated ship poster with who's primed to believe certain things. So can't really tell sometimes if what he has come across is, fact or just just his conjecture.
And then, of course, there was the super secret Discord channel where.
Oh God, that one. Yeah, that one is
that caused other drama that may have been related to this by people who associate there who didn't see other people associate here. But yeah, there was some kind of sort of doxing channel where people who didn't like other people in the skeptic / red pill / SJW communities on YouTube have all.
Yeah, I think that their targets were labeled a hit list.
This is why I told you all the internet. I don't know what the fuck after New Year's. It was like, okay, maybe it's gonna be a good 2018, and then it was like double down on it was like double down on the shit posting so hard. Like, we're gonna shit post so hard that it's like we turn inside out. And it's like, okay, either you're about to implode, and that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that the SJW community is on the edge of implosion, where maybe they can do some clean house and actually get some shit done.
Not going to happen.
You know what I mean?
Not going to happen.
No, it's not. It's basically it needs to be like a social justice atomic bomb needs to happen, and just to clear house, and then go back to try to figure out what was your original goal. The one where you wanted equality instead of this. I don't know what the fuck you guys are doing now, because it seems like you're trying to put everyone in a tiny box, and everyone. What was it I was reading earlier? Thought crime is now a thing. The Adrian, do you remember what that was? Someone someone banned or demoted someone from
oh yeah, the sci-fi conference.
the Hugo, yeah, the sci-fi conference things, because they thought he might have thought something. And what the hell?
What I saw was
what the public statement was that he was bringing a camera to record SJWs that were harassing him, and the camera was against the rules, so they banned him for that.
Yeah, it was to prove that he was being harassed because they were harassing him, and so they used his attempt to show that he was being harassed against them because it's do as I say and not as I do, and that's third day of the year.
If somebody claimed that he was harassing people, but I don't know what they never heard what that was about. He claimed people were harassing him, and he wanted the camera to record things. Things that sometimes happen at other conferences. I'm all for people recording at all times. I'm sorry.
Me too. Yeah,
in a public space like a convention, for a sci-fi convention, sure.
I know that some artists, like you can say don't record in like the vendor area or something, because some artists get really pissy. I had someone, I was like looking at her rings and I'm like, oh man, I want to send this to some, and the reason I wanted to send it was I wanted to know if someone wanted me to pick it up for him. So I would have dropped the $50 right there, but she like all freaked out and she's like, no pictures of anything. I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, yeah, because I can't trust, and this is what she told me. She goes, I can't trust you're not going to take that home and scan it and 3D print it.
Take a picture or video of it, and you need to have a really good camera. Unless you're like facing straight onto it and holding still and got a tripod, you can't capture anything that's going to be worth actually preserving and selling.
Well, this is the thing.
It's like it probably costs more to print it.
That's what I'm saying. It's like technically, yes, I have the capabilities and the talent to do that, but I wouldn't, because the amount of effort that went into it versus I can just give you money and buy it. And I understand where she's coming from, but at the same time, if you're that paranoid, maybe you shouldn't be selling shit. Because she wouldn't. I asked her, do you have an email or a website or anything? No, I don't. I won't do a website. I won't do this because someone will start stealing my designs.
Like, oh my god,
that's where copyright fear mongering has gone overboard.
Yes, and that's where it has.
Let's be honest. If somebody, and for everybody that's listening on the cast, if somebody wants something of yours and they want your data bad enough, they are going to get it.
Yep.
If they're relentless enough and they won't eat or sleep until they get what they want from you, they will get it.
Yeah, and that was kind of that's my position too. Is I make an attempt to protect myself. Yeah, I will send cease and desist letters when it's legitimately people are messing with my stuff. But I also kind of expect there's a degree of loss that's simply going to occur, and the
cost of doing business.
Right.
Yeah, that's just how it is, and the hope is that someone will well, hell, it was today with the kid. She's like, I'm watching these cat videos on YouTube, and it was from I don't know, this Dave guy or something, and she's describing it. I go, that's Markiplier, and she's like, who? No, this guy's name was like Dave, and I go, screw that. So I grabbed the phone. And I did the voice thing as I'm driving, and I go, Markiplier, and then poof, it pops right up, and I go, this is Markiplier, this is his channel. So she's like, wait, but that's not the same. So I started playing the video. She goes, yeah, this is the video. I'm like, yeah, that's the original content creator. So I try to go out of my way to find the original content creators because I hate these stealing and resharing. But yeah, same thing like with her. People do that all the damn time.
To an extent, I'm fine with promoting other artists, but putting your name on their works and then getting money off of that's never really felt that's never been kosher.
Yeah,
I don't want to go off the show notes. So on Kilroy, do you know if it's still, as of today, still scheduled to be going on?
My knowledge, yes.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
It's to my knowledge, yes.
Okay.
And I was considering going, but I kind of, changed my mind on that when all the shit hit.
Yeah, I was wanting to actually sent them a tweet asking if they needed a free videographer who works for cost, but it seems like we mismanagement, and some of the people I wanted to see there who originally said they're going to be there aren't going to be there now. So to me, it's like I don't know.
Maybe someone more experienced at a later date, or someone who learned from the mistakes of Kilroy could host their own kind of a similar theme convention.
What events Derbycon had is we had all been involved in volunteer work at other cons, and and all of our staff were involved. And I think Dave probably ran some contract stuff. He ran some of that through Martin, who had been working on other kinds of events, not HackerCons necessarily, but music events and so forth. So we had some experience there. That helped us out.
Gotcha. All right.
All right, let's go on to the next thing. We actually got a technical topic here.
Yay!
Intel CPUs have a major security flaw. Fixing it causes a huge performance hit.
Hey, guess what? They've actually de-embargoed it. It's actually released now. It's called Meltdown Inspector.
Yeah, I have a link to that in the show notes. And I'm not sure what the difference is between the two of them. I understand there's some flaw in pretty much all modern Intel CPUs where something in user space can reach into kernel space and look at memory it should not be able to, possibly revealing details like, let's say, passwords. Or details of other programs that you want other processes to find.
Yeah, well, they were saying that on virtual machine environments, you could swap between machines and all kinds of stuff was vulnerable.
Well, from my understanding, it was a read-only vulnerability. Not to say that reading, when you're talking about reading memory space, can't be used to leverage for execution elsewhere. But just that exploit alone, I'm not quite certain how you'd actually be able to shift between VMs that way. Well, maybe I'm just not tech savvy enough to really know that.
It's all in a way of how Intel hands things off. It goes from kernel mode to user mode, then back to kernel mode. And during that switch, you can specially craft something, and it's able to do that.
Lateral permissions and stuff. So yeah. It's just moving sideways instead of moving up or down.
So I thought it was read only. The vulnerability was reading. User mode application can read arbitrary kernel mode memory. I mean, is there anything that allows you to write to it from that specific exploit?
Don't know. I guess you could still force resources, because they were saying it was slow. Because I don't know, there was some stupid slowdowns yesterday. I was wondering if it wasn't people screwing with stuff.
Yeah, because if it can do some writes as well, and that's it's already a pretty horrific vulnerability, but that would be that'd be useful to know for threat modeling purposes. But yeah, it's a good time to be an AMD and NVIDIA investor.
Yeah.
And ARM.
Well, no, ARM is at risk too.
Yeah, ARM's Intel.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I only heard of fucking Intel.
It's an old flaw. It's like, what was it, like 12 years old or something?
Yeah, but I wouldn't know. You're saying ARM copies?
No, because ARM is based off RISC architecture, so that's why it's vulnerable.
Oh, so it's a RISC. Got it.
Intel CEO sold a lot of stock around the time this apparently was close to them.
It was end of November is when the CEO sold a bunch of stock. He claims it was not related to this, but at that point you only have his word to go off of, which is don't think many people are going to trust him when he says that. But yeah, it was over a month ago. He sold a bunch of stock. Anyone more familiar with how? I don't know. I'm sure in the coming days or coming weeks, we'll find out more specifics about this flaw and how long it will actually take Intel to get a long-term fix that doesn't require some resource crippling software patch. Because I keep hearing it's a hardware-based flaw.
Find your CPU.
What was that?
You know they're going to say the long-term fix is buy a new CPU.
No. Yes.
From AMD. But,
exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's a short-term fix that will probably turn into the long-term fix.
No, don't have them fireworks. Oh, here comes the child.
I know AMD pushed a patch in for the Linux kernel, one of the AMD developers, pretty much stating if processor is not AMD, raise the insecure flag.
Oh, by the way, I just found
although that's a sick burn.
Oh, by the way, this is off topic what we're talking about immediately, but I just want to point this out real quick. I think I saw a weird Twitter. I'm not gonna call it anti-harassment, an anti-people starting fights with each other thing. one of my Twitter accounts shows certain things for a certain hashtag and certain people I don't block, but my main account doesn't show them when I search for this particular hashtag.
So you're shadow banned?
Well, I'm not shadow banned. I'm saying is when I look for the hashtag cock smells. I'm not kidding.
But what I leave for 2 seconds and we're on to penises.
But if I do cock smells for my Irongeek account, I don't see it. If I do it from a different account, I do see tweets from these people. But my Irongeek account does not have them blocked.
Do they block you?
They might have.
Because I can see their stuff.
Maybe they have you muted.
So I don't. But if they have me muted, that wouldn't keep me from searching for them.
I don't know. Twitter's search algorithm is weird. At some time, I'm able to see the tweets of people who have me blocked if I search for them specifically. But if I go to their actual Twitter or profile page, nothing.
In this case, though, I don't have them blocked.
I don't know.
Blocked, but a search for that hashtag does not come up with them.
Maybe it's really. For those accounts, I know Twitter has the option to filter out low-quality tweets. Maybe you have the different settings toggled for each account.
Yeah.
Or keywords.
Keywords.
Yeah.
I tested that for a day. It was wonderful.
Oh my, yes.
The most obvious possibility here. Filter bubbles.
What are filter bubbles?
The company's only showing you what they think you want to see.
Like when Facebook rearranges everything constantly.
Like when one person Googles gun laws and they get the NRA, and another person Googles and they get gun control.
Yeah, I was just wondering if it was a feature of because of who I do block and who blocks me, it automatically hid those people from me because there's a Venn diagram overlapping. I don't know. It's just.
Do you have the filter low quality tweet setting checked for Irongeek?
I don't remember ever setting that. Where is that set?
On Twitter options. The exact menu is slightly different depending on what platform you're accessing Twitter from. If you get the Windows client, the Twitter client, the website, TweetDeck.
I think we have another topic to cover that we need to add.
Well, add it.
Is Earth flat?
What?
Is Earth flat?
Okay, let's get that one. All right,
you know what?
Let's not. I've had this on atheist forums already.
All right, back to the Intel CPU thing. That was just a sideline. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with that. But Intel CPU. So basically, this is a flaw they can't actually fix in. What is the term? Not firmware. There's a term for something on a CPU. Damn it.
Is it flatware?
No, it's not flatware. I mean,
Dun-dun-dun.
CPUs have some code that can't actually be updated on the CPU.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the word either.
I don't remember the word, but apparently this can't be fixed with that. And fixing it causes a huge performance hit. Like they were saying, depending on operating system, 15 to 30%. Now, is that for all operations or only certain operations? I was reading through some of this stuff, but unfortunately, I'm not an exploit developer, so I don't totally follow it.
Ouch.
Does anybody else know anything about it?
No. It would be a good time to buy AMD.
No.
A little late for that.
Actually, Intel's pointing fingers at ARM and AMD, saying that they're both affected as well.
Where does it say that?
Well,
hey, we're all fucked.
I'm sure we'll find out more soon enough.
That's just half the world.
We're all fucked. Everyone is fucked.
We're screwed.
I kind of stopped caring in general once that years ago when I found out a malformed text message can pretty much own your phone. It's kind of like,
yeah,
I give up. Not in terms of me specifically, but in terms of securing the world.
At this point, I'm only running antivirus to go through the motions because, quite frankly, it's whatever. Using long passwords, doing all the shit. Yeah, sure, I'll do all the shit, but whatever. It's like I'm going to find out tomorrow. It doesn't matter anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are living in a time where nothing is safe.
Nothing is safe.
Nothing is sacred.
Nothing is sacred.
Everything is grabs. It just depends on what you're trying to grab. And
Alexa, play the Black Mirror theme.
That does remind me for the Nothing is Sacred part. The other day, Vanity Fair magazine released an article about sex parties in Silicon Valley.
Oh yeah, I remember
And
that.
I'm not surprised.
I read the article, and there were some things that really, really stuck out at me. It's very strange.
What's that?
Aside from the literal photo of naked people from the sex party, which I thought, posting nudes of other people was kind of taboo. I don't know if the photo was public domain or if the people consented to being published, but nothing was mentioned of any kind of consent for. The person writing the article complained several times about the gender ratio of the sex parties.
Yeah, I don't understand.
What was he expecting, or she?
I'm trying to find the article now. Come on, man, put stuff in the show notes.
And so I'm thinking, we're at a stage where fucking
is not having
writers,
yeah,
where fucking sex parties need to have affirmative action for them. My God, it's a future. It's the future of parody to be less absurd than reality. My God,
the sex bots are coming.
It's like a fucking low effort Onion article headline.
Pretty much.
Oh my God,
that's not what the world has. The world is the Onion now.
Yep. Yeah. And I like red onions.
When idiocracy becomes the real news.
Yeah, a pro-Hillary billionaire buyout, that is.
It was completely blaming men for absolutely everything. It had a very anti-man bias on the entire article. It said it tried to soft spin any kind of claims of, well, a lot of these women were also looking just to hook up with rich men to wife up, husband up, and be rich. And some of them were doing it to advance their career. So basically, how do you
like Weinstein, you mean?
Yeah, if you hold yourself out for advancement and then you feel all shameful of it 10 years later, I'm sorry, I don't feel really sorry for you. Yeah, there's a power imbalance, so why don't you do the same thing? Find the right investors, actually have a product someone wants, and don't play the whole ass grabby game.
No, Adrian makes a perfectly valid point. It's perfectly true. And I have a problem with a lot of that too. It's people who work really hard and then get shown up because someone. I actually had a job like that, come to think of it, and they fired her after they caught her stealing from the register, and then they hired her back on because she was sleeping with the district manager.
But I like in the show notes.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah. We're beyond Poe. We're beyond Poe.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't know. It's just I was just laughing with Adrian saying he said the ass grabby.
God.
But it's just but it's just we live in a society now that and anything that was weird 10 years ago is reality today. Like 10 well, no, I say that 20 years ago. I take it back. 20 years ago, we'd be like, okay, whatever, get the hell. Now it's like,
fucking 5 years ago.
Yeah, 5 years ago.
Shit's just
2 years ago for a lot of stuff. My God,
it's just changed so bad. It's just gotten so bad.
At least on the plus side, I'm having a wonderful time teaching, just finding these random foreign policy people like from Australia or UK who ask questions like, "What's goat say?"
Oh no!
I'm having just a wonderful time just explaining to them.
God.
And I'm thinking,
having a wonderful goatee time.
I
can keep saying it'll check out my face. Look at it. Can you not tell me that it looks perfect with that? Simply having. Don't you? Look at
all
her.
right. Sorry for distraction, but go ahead. Irongeek.
Hold on a second. Let me say this. That Intel flaw. Still more research on that. Let's see more coverage on that. But apparently, Jared Day says the term I was looking for was microcode, something that you can actually modify on the CPU to modify how it works. But apparently, this is not fixable using microcode.
Well, yeah, it's some critical optimization. But yeah, that's all I really know. That if it's hardware architecture, it's hardware architecture. I'm sure the microcode can pretty much tell it, don't use it if you want to have don't use that optimization if you want to cripple your processor's performance.
Yeah, 15 to 30% decrease in performance. And like I said, again, I'm not sure if that's for all operations or what. That seems like a pretty big hit.
Oh yeah.
Huge hit.
I mean, my machine will still be playing fast from all the porn I look at, but it's not going to be. That's not good for gaming or video processing.
Most gaming don't let CPU intensive.
Depends on what. Never mind.
Some of it is, and yeah, I don't quite know what you're laughing. The most laughable stuff would be I/O. For loading pictures.
Yeah. I'm just laughing because, like, no, when they said, with all the porn I watch, they just say, yeah, it might not be that CPU intensive.
Oh yeah, that.
I guess depends on the scene.
I was he said mention games or then porn. I responded to the games part, but yes, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely 100% right.
Hang on. I'm escalating this one. I am escalating this one.
Oh.
You know when it gets fucking you want to know when porn gets CPU intensive?
4K.
When tell me. Uh-oh.
Okay, gets pretty intensive. Oh no, I don't want. Should I click this?
Nope, I ain't clicking it.
Hey, don't click it.
Nope.
Board games in virtual reality.
Sorry, man, I'm not a weeboo.
Nope.
Sorry, Howie, I don't trust you.
Nope, I'm not doing a clickbait, bro. I'm sorry.
Does anyone have a VM up? Anyone got anything that's encapsulated where we can test things, or is it too dangerous?
I don't have the VM up, but you know, I do click jacking for a living, so no.
Not on my work computer. Not on my work computer.
Nope.
Then here, I will make it easy for all you fuckers. 1 second.
Thank you.
Someone else can sacrifice themselves.
Yeah, I'm not sacrificing.
Oh God. It's the same avatar that always gets used for everything.
Yeah. Okay.
DOC.
What is she from? She's like from one of the volleyball square games or some shit, isn't she? It's one of those reused characters.
They actually made a virtual.
Whoa! I don't.
Yeah, I take your word.
Wait, what?
There.
Oh, I'm scared.
You look scared.
I'm scared. In my low, in my high pixelizationness.
Yes.
My poor camera.
I know one thing, kids know how to scratch you up. Babies have sharp nails. Jeez.
That's why you gotta put gloves on them.
Ooh.
Yeah, put little gloves on them.
Yeah, I put some alcohol on my hand just now on fire.
Oh. Yeah, that ain't good.
I don't have much else to say on the CPU issue. I'm still curious. You all say that it also affects AMD, but that wasn't the stuff I read.
Well, yeah, but it might be new information because a lot of the stuff we read was from like this morning and last night.
Mm.
At the same time, you said Intel said it and made that announcement. So at this point, it sounds like shit flinging. It could be right, but they're not the ones to say it. At least not without independent confirmation.
It'll come soon.
Like, well, AMD sucks too.
AMD sucks too. It's not just us. They suck also.
All right.
Ow.
Next piece of news I will bring up then. Next topic of discussion. Let me see if I can get my screen sharing going. Okay, present to everyone, Adrian. All right. There's this particular congressman who apparently supports a domestic terrorist group. He posted this particular thing to his Twitter. At Moonplace Books. And I just found that the book, at Moonplace Books, and I just found the book that strikes fear in the heart of Donald Trump. And it's an Antifa book. Antifa, the Anti-Fascist Handbook. That's a fucking domestic terrorist group, you fucking moron.
Ow.
Oh, gosh.
It makes girls going to see a Milo concert start calling everybody, oh, you're a racist, you're racist. You just makes the girl of Afghanistan origin who's there with a lesbian friend and a couple other nationalities to see a half Jewish gay dude who has a black, boyfriend at the time, husband now. Shut the fuck up. You're fucking far left nut jobs who just want to hurt anybody who doesn't follow your political ideology. And then you got this fuck nut supporting them.
Well, in Keith Ellison's defense, granted he might be Muslim, he doesn't know. He's so fucking far out of the fucking loop that.
We'll see if he supports him in more than just name.
Oh man, if you go through the Twitter, you got people telling his ass. He's got other Democrats saying, "Dude, back the fuck off, pull out, pull up."
Well, I mean, like I said, he doesn't fucking know.
See, the Democrats could easily win the next election with just putting someone even somewhat moderate and not try to play the identity politics. Just put someone like who's Jim Webb would probably win in the landslide. Hell, even and I know some of y'all think of disagreed with me on this. Biden would probably win.
No, fuck no, hell no. Biden's already thrown his hat in the ring. Why the fuck do you think he's going on this fucking tour? He's going to fucking run in.
I don't like Biden. I find he's a nice person. I just don't like some of his policy positions, especially related to copyright.
A Joe Biden Dan Quayle ticket?
No, Biden is going to run in 2020, and my friends aren't believing me. And I'm like, this dude's going to fucking run. He was going to run in 2016.
If you're going to go by the standard of someone he is giving speeches and traveling around, Mark Zuckerberg's going to run in 2020. If that's the criteria.
No. I mean, if you look at the patterns, why is it that he's announcing that he's going on this tour 2 years out? It's the same shit that fucking Hillary did.
Mark Zuckerberg is going.
Yeah. So yes,
Biden would be a better option for him than some of the people I think they're floating.
No.
Yeah.
No, Biden represents the corporate wing of the Democrats, and it's the same fucking wing as Hillary, and that's why he didn't run in 2016 because Obama and Hillary sat him down and said, no, not this time. It's Hillary's turn.
You do realize who needs to run next time, right? You all need to vote for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's gonna be.
You have my vote.
Yes, it's gonna be. It's gonna be Conley Crenshaw ticket.
Who's going to be your VP?
Crenshaw.
Oh, Crenshaw. Yes. Okay.
Yes. CC ticket.
Yes.
You know what? That would be so cool. Somebody from the InfoSec community.
Or Charles. I'll have Charles if you want to, and we can, and we'll put Adrian in charge of shit lording. But
technically, we have had someone from the InfoSec run for president. Adjacent to
libertarian.
InfoSec.
Yeah, we also had a libertarian.
in charge of NASA.
What? My buddy?
Bat in charge of NASA.
Who's Bat? Well, Jonathan is right. Miss Bat
oh, Miss Bat's awesome. I like Miss Bat.
Yeah, Bat. I would totally do. I would. Well, I know the guy. I know the guy who. I know NASA dude. Anyway, so no, Bats would be fun, and so would Stacey Banks. Stacey Banks and Bats in charge of NASA.
Oh,
cool.
I tried to leave her in this last election cycle, but unfortunately, she didn't get any votes that I know of. I'll find my campaign ad for her.
We should run.
What about Mr. Kennedy, Dave,
in charge of technology?
As president.
I wouldn't. That might be fun, actually. I wouldn't mind.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
initiative.
Huh?
Would you stick me in charge of the Matrix Initiative?
Sure.
You think Larry, like, it wasn't like Lawrence Lessig, like, used to be a bit of an icon for a large part of the hacker community back like the early to mid 2000s.
I think so.
I seem to recall quite a bit of people were really supporting him, especially when he was campaigning against parts of the DMCA and at the time part of copyright law that really shit hardcore on hackers. But after his attempts fell flat, I don't know, his name kind of died out a bit. I know he did run for president in 2016, though I think he approached it probably the wrong way. His entire thing was
was Johnson? Johnston?
That's a different guy.
Yeah, because I know we've had a couple tech people.
So yeah, so Lawrence Lessig was Aaron Schwartz's mentor. After Aaron Schwartz committed suicide, Lessig kind of went in a bit of crusade to try to reform, trying to reform various laws that essentially resulted in Aaron committing suicide. He also came to the conclusion that he can't really reform a lot of these laws without getting money out of politics. So he went from trying to campaign against CFAA and parts of copyright law to trying to do election campaign reform, which has been his big thing for the past 5+ years. And then he tried to run for president, not because he wanted to become president in 2016, but because he wanted to be on the debates on TV and introduced into the public discourse the problem with campaign finance. But after he pretty much told DNC that was his intentions, they changed the rules for what was needed to get into the debates, just specifically to exclude him.
Yeah, not surprised. They're dirty as hell. Well, we know for a fact they're dirty as hell.
So at the last minute, he changed his not really running for president, but not really, to he's gonna actually seriously run for president. But that was failed as well, obviously. Can't blame the guy for trying. He's pretty much all moonshots in the past decade. Yeah, that's it for Lessig that I know off the top of my head.
Yeah. So the moral of the story is we're all screwed. So just everybody take the nice cruises and the vacations, hug your loved ones, smoke all the marijuana you want because it's all tumbling down.
So drink all the booze, hack all the things.
Mm-hmm. Tear it all up. Let it all hang out.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's even if the world burns down, I still got my chickens and goats, and my rabbits are tasty.
Yo.
And you're not living anywhere near where a nuke would probably hit.
Actually, yeah, no, that's.
You're not. Are you in a coastal area?
No, we'll Navy bases.
Yeah, the third largest munitions base is 15 minutes from my house.
I live near DC.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
don't think I'm not a target.
I'm not saying no one here is. Okay, you made a case for about the munitions base.
I live in Centerville, Virginia. So yeah, that's like 16 miles from the DC line. So
fun. You are closer to DC than I am.
So in other words, you live in the Greenbelt.
Yeah, I live right off 66.
Sucks to be you.
No, I travel. I work from home majority of the time, so I don't really take 66. And the office in Reston, so I take 28.
Fun.
Yeah, 66 is a toll now, man. It's crazy. Like they've changed everything.
Yeah. I'm sure the shitty weather is not helping.
No, but luckily I get to stay home and,
how many feet of snow do you all have out there now? Because I heard Pennsylvania had like 1,000 feet. I heard Pennsylvania's not thawing anytime this century.
We haven't gotten any snow yet, thank goodness.
Yeah, we've got little flurries here and there. It hasn't been bad quite yet, so. Although I almost want to play you guys.
Dusting. That was like a week ago.
I almost want to play you guys the messages from the superintendent for our local school district, because it takes him literally 3 minutes to get to the point of his things. I really care about your kids and all this, or it'll have to rhyme or something, and it's like,
Just say what you mean, damn it.
10-second message, 2-hour delay tomorrow. Okay, good. I'm done. Not make me wait for like 15 fucking minutes waiting to hear if we're gonna have a delay or not.
Yeah, I used to to my ex's voicemails from their principal, and I'm like, dude, this dude needs to hurry the fuck up.
Oh my god, it must be the same. Must be. My god, it's ridiculous.
No, it was in a county way the fuck south of you.
I don't. Maybe it's the same guy.
No.
Maybe he changed districts.
Maybe your defense for a nuke should be build a gigantic fan in the direction of the munitions base. Just blow away any of the fallout. That'll work, right?
Good luck with that.
No, my best bet is to get on the base because they have bunkers.
Yes, they do.
If you don't,
My best bet is to get to the base and go hide in the bunkers.
And hope that there's still some MREs around.
Oh shit, there'd be tons.
Mm-hmm. That just sounds so appetizing. Mm.
They're actually not that bad.
Bullshit.
Have you had the new ones? Because they were surprisingly, there's actually some really good ones. They're not all cardboard. There's actually a couple aren't half bad.
I will take your word for it.
Yeah, there's actually a couple that really aren't too bad.
Okay, we believe you.
Yep. I'm painting hedgehog spines.
Hedgehogs are awesome.
I'm gonna make it a pirate outfit too.
That sounds adorable.
It's gonna be so cute. The thing is, I really should sell it, but I'm gonna probably be giving it away. I need money so bad. I need to make like $300 before next week because my dog has to go to a specialist, and then I need to make like money for paying for classes because I'm doing my Cisco 3 class, and I should really pay for that on my own. And then Sally Mae's calling me 14 times a day because they want money for my other degree. So,
oh, fun!
I need to start making money like ASAP.
If you need help with, I'll talk with you offline.
Yeah. Okay, that'd be good.
So I'm resisting the urge to bring up another topic that's not in the schedule. So
go ahead and do
what's
it.
next in the list?
What was the other topic you want to talk about? Bring it up. But next time, edit some show notes, man.
Yeah, okay.
Get the link, right?
All right. So, yeah, I read an article the other day about it was in the Washington Post about NSA is hemorrhaging people left and right, and private industry is scooping them up.
Yep.
Well, no shit.
I'm sure this is not news for anyone. The part of me that's probably a little bit nutty is trying to wonder. The initial thing Emma Rogers said when he came on board was he wants more of the NSA employees to have some stints in the private sector, and then go in between the private and public sector to try to get them more skill sets and build relationships. So I can't help but wonder: are these articles kind of an attempt to bring awareness to potential recruiters in Silicon Valley that, there's talent to scoop up?
It might be.
Or is this legitimately just talking about a crisis?
Let's face it. The U.S. government does have a crisis, and that crisis centers around a certain thing that you cannot do.
Hacking?
You can have to be more specific.
Smoking marijuana, drugs.
Yeah, pretty much.
That is one of the crises, yes, I would imagine.
So, I mean, as you can imagine, I've spent 16 years in government in one shape, form, or another, and I could really use a break.
He just means just around 420.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I could go for it just one time. Without no repercussions.
Well, move to Hollywood.
Maybe in 5 years. Maybe in 5 years.
No.
Yeah. And they'll hire you, and they don't seem to care.
Well, if you're going to go for people not caring, go to CNN. Didn't they just smoke blunts on
California
on TV live?
Just go to Silicon Valley for people that don't care.
Yeah, well, and California just passed a new law on what was it? Wages, that don't ask, don't tell wage policy, and a couple other things. So.
No, but I mean, think about it. I went I went from wanting a GS position to now as a contractor, I make more than some of my
GS counterparts.
Yeah, way the fuck more.
Yeah,
It's
not.
sexy, isn't it?
You must have a really good company then, because it doesn't
Yeah.
always happen that way. And yeah,
Oh, sure, it happens. You just got to know which side to get into.
mm.
Okay, I currently have on my Raspberry Pi Mongo version 2.4.10. It says that's the latest version that's out there, but my Python library is telling me I need to have Mongo 2.6. Fuck.
Maybe a different series?
Maybe?
Mongo, 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 Mongo.
All right, what's the next thing I actually have in my list of things?
Sexy, sexy things.
Oh,
Yes.
swatting. You all seen the story about this guy?
Oh, yeah.
By the way, I really like this site. It's called Heavy. And whenever there's any kind of police shooting or any kind of mass shooting or any kind of, major headline grabbing, bunch of people got killed shit, or even one person got killed in tragic circumstances, they cover it.
So what are you talking about? You talking about the you talking about Swatistic?
Yes, I'll go ahead and read the top couple paragraphs of this.
I can go ahead and give you the fucking rundown of this. Two fucking numbnuts were in a Call of Duty match for $1.50. That was the prize, $1.50.
Video games cause violence.
They get into a fucking argument about each other and threaten to swat each other. So person A, because they haven't disclosed what his name was, threatens person B with swatting. So person B says, "Fuck it, here's my address. Do your worst." So person A goes to Swatistic and says, "Hey, this guy thinks that can happen to him."
Oh, so Swatistic wasn't even in the argument. He was just someone who...
Yes, he is apparently someone who's a serial swatter. He's swatted many people beforehand, according to himself. And it wasn't even the right address. It was person B intentionally gave the wrong address.
Before he even verified whether or not the person really lived there, he just took the person at his word and said, "Fuck it."
So,
which is absolutely fucking dumb.
Well,
So
going to someone to swat for swatting in general is pretty fucking dumb. It's like saying, yes, I hired a hitman, but I forgot to verify it's the right target to hit. The fact that you went to the hitman in the first place is a pretty fucking screwed up part.
And then the whole time he's giving an interview, I didn't do nothing wrong. You fucking dumb shit. You fucking instigated somebody getting killed. You think that's not gonna fucking fall on your head?
Yes.
But the way that he's thinking is he just got a new achievement in Call of Duty.
No, he's not a gamer like that. He's just...
I know, it's horrible.
I know. She's making a joke. It's making a joke.
I'm not really sort of. But people are fucked up. That's really what it comes down to.
So this is like the first instance of swatting I heard of happened like FBI first reported swatting as being a thing like 9 years ago, I heard. And so to my knowledge, and granted I've not really been closely following all this, but to my knowledge this is the first death that has come from swatting.
No, it's happened before.
From not talking about a SWAT team, but specifically from swatting.
Yes, deaths have happened. Deaths had occurred.
Yeah, people, kids, husbands, wives, dogs, pets.
Well, I've heard those stories all the time, but never before in the context of someone making a fake SWAT call.
Yes, that person got 15 years for that.
Yeah, they're all fake by definition. Isn't that kind of the whole point?
True. I actually have I kind of wish it was my main computer right now. I have a recording of a SWAT call I got from when I was looking at Baphomet a few years back, when they were first got involved in the whole Gamergate shit. They were posting links to Vocaroos and SoundClouds of swatting phone calls that took place. Just downloaded one of them. the recording mainly because at the very end of it, he just made this very over-the-top comical laugh after the police chief hung up. But before that, he sounded like a fucking he fucking sounded like a fucking sociopath. It just, I'll have to give you the link when I get back to my computer. So maybe you'll play it next week or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah,
But,
and being on both sides of a SWAT response, it fucking sucks. It's scary as hell. I mean, especially if you don't know what to expect.
Yeah, and the sales people major fault here. One, we saw if the guy gave the wrong address. Not that he's at the most fault of anybody. I'm saying that starts some of this off. The guy who called out the SWAT, the guy that actually did the swatting, and then the fucking cop who apparently got a little trigger happy, because my understanding the guy didn't do anything particularly frightening. He just walked up the door and opened it, and the guy got popped in the head.
Yeah.
So what I heard was he put his hands down. I don't know. I've heard him. Put his hands down, and the cop who shot him thought, "Oh my god, he's grabbing for a gun." But
yes, because I mean they don't know. They don't know. I mean, the guy that came outside, he didn't know either. So.
The thing is, we've made the cops more trigger happy because of all the Black Lives Matter and all this other shit. Because they've been threatened and everything else. So now they're on like super high alert because they don't know.
So I mean,
on
the defensive, sure, but trigger happy.
But I mean, in a sense, I don't blame the cops.
Panicked, But even then, it's really difficult because there needs to be more training, there needs to be more whatever. But yeah, when you're in the moment,
I get the argument that when you're in the heat of the moment, you don't really have that much time to make a decision, and you have to protect your life first and foremost. I get that.
And again, not excusing it. Not excusing it at all, but
at the same time, I've heard arguments in courts about how, you got to think of the cop's state of mind when this happens. They're terrified the person's reaching for a gun. To an extent, I can sympathize with that. But on the flip side of things, what about the state of mind of the person who walks outside and sees a fucking dozen guns pointed at them?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been on both sides of that. I've been the person pointing the gun, and I've been the motherfucker that got guns pointed at him. So I mean,
if there's going to be an argument to exonerate the law enforcement officer, I would prefer it to be internally consistent.
Well,
and the state of mind one is not an argument I can really get behind.
No, it's not. I mean, like I said, that's an individual. You got to go person by person. And was this another young cop, like first time?
I don't think it was a young cop. I think it was like a veteran, like I don't know. It did not sound like it was his first year on the job.
Okay, because that's even more unfortunate then.
Yeah, we haven't seen video of this. There's not video of this one to my knowledge. Maybe there was a cam of like a police cam. It makes me think also that shooting that happened in the hotel room. The guy who was pointing like a pellet.
Oh god, that was twisted as fuck.
And then the guy's like being super aggro with the guy. The guy's drunk and he's trying to make him crawl on his knees. And I was like, just one of you guys cover him, walk over there and cuff his ass. I understand
in fact the
shot. If you're that paranoid and you're that worried about it, and I understand that it's a real risk. Maybe you shouldn't be a cop, and maybe you should. I hate to say this, except that there's a risk you're going to get shot.
I've had both cops and paramedics do incredibly stupid shit on scene when it took us 20 minutes to calm a drunk down, and then they come in, just arrive, and they're full barrel blazing, trying to be like, I'm like, dude, we just calmed this dumbass down. He's in a good mood. Don't start in with crap. And he threw him right back into being a belligerent little fuck. And it's like, so there is common sense and personality too.
I've met a couple guys who were cops who didn't choose it to actually protect and serve, but because I think they wanted to bully people. And I'm hoping
there are them. There are those.
But there are those, yes.
Yeah, there are those.
And, I've read enough stories of SWAT teams going wrong or swatting has gone wrong. I guess I have heard of a story a while back. Oh yeah, the one SWAT team a while back threw a flash grenade and kind of scarred a baby's face.
Yeah.
Like completely disfigured the baby because they were given the wrong address, or went to the wrong address. And I just remember looking at the response from the police station after that. The cops who were involved pretty much just quit the force, and after just giving a very big apology. I'm thinking, oh fuck, it's a shitty situation all around, and I hate seeing cops. You know what I mean? Actually have a conscience that thinking, oh fuck, it's just thinking that. All right, let me reverse it. I see two types of cops. Primarily, the cops that do their job, really awesome people, and then there is the cops that feel like they want to be the big bad motherfucker, the one who think that they're a war, that they want to dress up as Mr. Military and shoot a drunk guy with a rifle after forcing him to crawl towards him. So yeah, I hate seeing the good cops that got made a mistake or were fed bad information and horrible things happened. I hate seeing I hate seeing those people leave the force, because we need more of the good cops.
Yep.
We need more good cops out there.
Yeah, and we get that in all of the services too. You get that in military, where the people are just doing it for the wrong reason. In fact, there's a whole article for the volunteer firefighter that basically says, this is not a reason to become a volunteer. If this is the reason you're trying to get into it, you need to find something else to do. And basically, it's heroing. It's like you're in this to serve your community. You're not in here to run in and make things more dangerous. You need to have a you need to have a level head. You need to do your training, et cetera, et cetera. And the other problem that we have with a lot of rookies is firefighter arsonists, that they get bored doing stuff, and it's a lot of the young guys will go out and start their own fires.
Oh, you mean like that? You mean like that one chief's son in the local community center?
Yeah, which unfortunately happens, and so there's reasons to get into things, and there's reasons you shouldn't, and we've had that issues with a couple others too, where they're like, okay, well, I want to get into this because I want to run into, and then it's like, and they hadn't don't finish the training first, and they run in, and they don't realize how dangerous you're making it. Because I understand the papers all try to go, oh, these firefighters are our heroes because they do this, and I'm like, actually, if there's no one in that building, there's no reason for you to run in and save grandma's china. Let it go, because you're gonna get yourself killed or get someone else killed. Trying to do something that's not really that important.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then here's the worst thing about it all is that SWAT teams around the nation have fucking immunity, which means that in the course of doing business, if you get fucking capped, if you get banged up, they're off the hook for it.
So I gotta wonder, the going back to the original swatting that Adrian brought up. I know there's a lot of criticism around the nation about, are all these SWAT teams even necessary? Has there been any sort of crime in that area that would really, where a SWAT team would actually be a valuable asset to have? I mean, was that the case? Is there a precedent?
Yeah, and would it make more sense calling a centralized team? Like, say in Indiana, we have a centralized major hazmat terrorist team out of Indianapolis, and it's basically you call in the FBI, so you call in the next level up if something like that's needed. A lot of the SWAT stuff, it's like long-term hostage situations and things. If I remember, it's.
But it's after.
Yeah.
That was originally or organized crime. But it's kind of spread
investigated
since then, massively.
Or it's just your local officer who has additional training.
Yeah.
Mm. But is it something that you can?
I would love it if we could just get some more statistics on this kind of stuff. But with so many courts,
Nick,
putting a lot of documents behind paywalls or fucking.
No, Nick, get a hold of Nick.
Nick,
he's really. Adrian, is it?
Let me look him up. I know who you're talking about. Nick.
What's his last? Yeah, it is Nick Selvey. Okay, Nick Selvey. So it's.
Yeah, Google this guy up. I'll put him in the.
Because he's already done a lot of research along those kind of lines.
Okay. I don't know if there's any. I don't know. For getting the court documents, if many states are in a similar position to the federal side, where the federal side is PACER, and you have to constantly pay fees to look up documents. I don't know if there are states that also do that, or if they're a little bit more sane and actually offer the court documents up for free to download.
Indiana has free. It depends on the document. Some places you can get free, like just general records, but it's not maybe not as detailed.
A lot of the public discourse related to law enforcement would be it would be so much better if we had more accurate information, if everyone's operating under the same base of knowledge, and it would be helped if all these documents were more readily accessible without paywalls or any other kind of walls.
Well, the thing is, a lot of those paywall sites are just using the free system that's already there. If you know how to search Muni code and Muni system.
Well, I was referring more so to like systems like Pacer, which this is the original source where you get the documents. Yes, you can repost them elsewhere for free, but the initial search has to be done on Pacer. I realize the vested interest. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't pay money for I know I found the links to our county and Monroe County's stuff because it's like county by county, and the county was responsible for posting the info public. And
Pacer is for federal stuff, not for county stuff.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying, like down at like a county level. And but you can depending on which court it was. Sometimes you can get a lot of stuff that's not paid. It's like they'll make you pay if you want it printed, but it won't, or if you want to like download PDF, but it's not. It's not always. Sometimes it's free to view. So there's depends on what you're looking up.
Well, I don't know. I always want as much transparency as possible in the court proceedings. I realize some documents need to be sealed for the safety of some people, but in general, I mean, come on. We needed to say fuck you, LexisNexis. We don't want to support your business model. Let the court system have their documents up for free rather than just making it a paywall, so you can pay separate services like LexisNexis to download it all for you and then offer you an exorbitantly expensive subscription to do the kind of analysis you'd have otherwise done on your own.
Yeah, I mean, and I do think public. Yeah, I do think the public stuff should be free. I mean, I understand, books or whatever you'll pay to download that's fine. But I think a lot of like court cases and things that should be public, you should have online access.
Well, I mean, if common law is based off of certain documents, we should know what the law is in practice, even if they're up based off of a book.
I know Indiana open door policy. They've changed it as of this year with our state anyway. Is if you like say you have like a business meeting or stuff like that for your town council, if you have a web page, you're required to post your meeting minutes on to be accessible online. Okay. So I know that they're trying to update that so that everyone has so that it's more, there's more accountability.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
Indiana, you said.
But in Indiana, that is one of the things Indiana's been doing, and that they've also made it a requirement in order to get your state stipend that everyone on your board, on your city council or your political subsidiary council is required to take the open door training session as well as basic cybersecurity for protecting records. So they want it to be available, but then stuff that shouldn't be available, they want to make sure that you're keeping it safe.
All right. Well, I think that's about it. I have knowledge of swatting stuff. I know there were DC types talking about wanting to make a law against this. And while I agree there should be a law against like punishing people for swatting, I don't think making such a law when you're kind of in an emotional state, such as these fuckers need to burn, is going to make for the best kind of law. Mm-hmm. Like there's deterrence and there's vengeance.
Yeah.
I mean, it just all depends on the state. I know some states do actually have swatting laws on the books.
Right. I mean, do with context of wanting to have a federal law or federal policy. And it's yes, I think the whole situation is fucked up. The fact that the guy was named Swatistic, that he was bragging about swatting people, that kind of pisses me the fuck off too. But it's a lot of the stuff is mostly carried out by teenagers, and while they're doing fucked up shit, the fact that a death happened, I would hope, is going to be enough of a deterrence that hopefully word this will spread to the point where people realize, oh shit, swatting isn't just for intimidating people. It's not just a game. It's not just for shits and giggles. It's people can fucking get killed.
Well,
Okay,
beyond,
so Gary, hang on. Okay, hang on. I have met people who have literally shown no regard for driving suicidal. I have seen people.
No regard for what?
for driving people suicidal.
Oh.
Yeah, I have dealt with those types. I guarantee you there will be the type that will not care whether or not someone gets killed in their swatting.
So you misunderstand. I'm not saying I hope there'll be no more swattings that will ever happen again. Of course, I hope that, but I don't have no expectation. I just think that there is a group of a demographic that previously thought swatting was okay, that in the end, no one's hurt. It's just scaring people, intimidating them. I'm hoping that demographic, the ones that do have a conscience, will realize, oh shit, someone can actually die from this. Because I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about, Ghost. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not talking about the literal sociopaths. I'm talking about the people who can be
just do it because it's a prank, bro.
It's just a prank. Yeah. I didn't think someone was gonna get hurt. Dumbass.
Pretty much. All right. What's the next topic on the?
I've been swatted. A friend of mine in the Midwest, she's been swatted. That was actually fucking hilarious. Thinking back on it now, but at the time it wasn't, because all she saw was a bunch of flashlights going by her window, and so she just looked out and, had a bunch of MP5s pointed at her, and that was not funny.
Once the guns are gone and it's something that the adrenaline can die down, it can be a kind of a laugh and oh thank God it's all over.
But it wasn't funny for her brother. Yeah. I know people like Mundane Matt. He's a YouTuber. He knew that he was going to, he says some things that basically piss people off.
Didn't he get swatted in 2016?
Was that?
Didn't Mundane Matt get swatted in 2016?
Yes, he did. See, and one of the things that helped him out was he contacted the police before the swatting, saying, well, there's some people out there on the internet that don't like me very much. So if you get a call in about some kind of hostage situation at this particular address, it's not likely true.
Or just be a little less, be cognizant of the possibility it may be a hoax. Yeah. Well, that's good you found that out ahead of time. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that works for people who are more famous and bigger in whatever industry they're in. But I mean, just Joe Blow schmuck who doesn't know anything.
Yeah, even Joe Blow schmuck. It works for them.
No.
Do you honestly think like Mundane Matt's local police station are avid YouTubers who think, oh wow, it's Mundane Matt?
No, but I mean,
fuck no.
Yeah, he called them up and let them know,
Yeah, you call the cops. Doesn't matter if you're a celebrity or not. They'll take note.
Give dispatch a heads up. Create a police report. These people have threatened me with this.
Yeah,
being warned, kind of thing.
The dispatch also appreciates it if we bring them cookies. They like that.
Yes,
kind.
Yes, but there's a person at my local dispatch who doesn't like me.
Okay.
Bring them raisin cookies.
Then they don't, yeah, then they get the raisin ones. They get a special batch. That's horrible. That's so mean. I would never do that to my dispatchers. I love my dispatchers.
All I think that's about it that I have to comment on this topic for the time being. I'll give you the recording of that swatting from Baphomet later tonight. And if you want to play it next week, go for it. I know the guy who initially linked it. I checked his SoundCloud channel out, and he had at least 3 or 4 different SWAT recordings on there. But his description of the channel was, please don't take my channel down. These are performative recordings. At that point, that point is pretty much probably not. Is probably just trying to insert doubt into investigators for doing an initial takedown. But yeah, I found a guy on Twitter bragging that a YouTuber was encouraging him to swat people, and he was just keep giving these links about here are the recordings. And one of the recordings was something I'd also seen on Baphomet several weeks prior. Baphomet, for those who don't know, is a board on 8chan. I don't know how active it is present day, but it is. They pride themselves on being the old 4chan types, the really big assholes. The kind who really.
So in other words, if I still ran in those circles, that's where I would be.
Potentially. I've seen. I browsing it just that site for just board for just 2 days. I saw a few doxing guides. One of which was pretty thorough, and I spent an all day to get myself off those sites. The insights where to get the information from. Found out a number of about 24 different services for wake-up calls, and a number of services for free wake-up calls, a number of services to have Qurans mailed to your target's house, and a bunch of services for Bibles to be mailed to their house. Not everything was swatting. A lot of it was just, here's how you fuck with someone.
That's horrible. Everything's horrible.
There was, you know what?
Is there lube? Can you get a 55-gallon drum of lube mailed to someone's house?
Yeah, but that'll cost about $2,000, unfortunately.
Is it really $2,000? God, that's crazy. They're all nuts. All of them are crazy. I love them. What, you don't know about the lube story? You have to know about the lube story.
Oh, I know. I've seen it on Amazon. I've seen it on Amazon. But no, the story, no, I have not heard it.
Trusted Sex sent one to Milton Security. I think he still has that drum of lube.
Oh God.
Water-based?
I don't know. I think it is, actually, knowing the boys. But yeah, he's got a 55-gallon drum of lube, like sitting, seriously, yeah, he's got one sitting like the front office because they don't know what the hell to do with it. And then Matt's looking at it because it's like the nice hydraulic stuff, and he's like, oh, I could use that right now. Because we got tractors and equipment and shit that needed.
You remember those secessionists in early 2016 who were trying to rebel against the government and hold up in that whatever the fuck it was in the Park Service?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
The Obama campaign's art director, I think it was, sent them a 55-gallon drum of lube, and then a bunch of people sent them sex toys.
Okay. Okay. Am I loud or something?
No.
Oh.
Okay.
I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm soft?
No, you're perfect.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, you're as hard as it gets, big boy.
Okay.
Oh my.
I need to run and go opioid my poor husband.
Okay, because the next one's going to piss you off anyway.
What's the next one?
Hot smells.
Yeah, I'm going to be gone for about 5 minutes, making sure that he's got his painkiller because of the surgery and stuff.
I'll give you a rundown. One of my I don't know who it was. I'm sorry if I forget which one person posted this. Posted this particular tweet from somebody who started the hashtag cock smells. To put it this way, it looks like they're running a shakedown service where you pay them to teach your staff how to properly implement a code of conduct. First of all, the actual qualifications I know of doing this thing. Also, they're stupid enough to start the hashtag cock smells. Let's go and check this person out. All right, let's check out the webpage they link to here.
Are you sure this isn't a hoax?
No, I'm sure.
Really?
I'm sure.
This is the only time Oh my fucking God. Everything is so monumentally stupid. I can actually almost believe you when you say someone that's named Coxnails is actually serious.
That's the hashtag.
Oh my God.
And they're talking about training and it's talking about sharing costs. So it looks like it's something paid for. You can get a free 30-minute consultation. They're supposed to come out and teach you how to properly enforce your code of conduct. How about just rely on the local fucking laws? So the code of conduct is only stuff on paper that is not ultimately enforceable. And yes, the people at the con who organize it can kick anybody else they want out. Despite what certain morons who do other video casts say, you don't need the cock to be able to restrain who all comes into your con. You can ban someone without having
it's yeah, no shit.
Are we really having a
religious document.
discussion about cocks?
Yes. Let's read through this person's thread.
This is going to be a long and hard discussion.
All right, let's start with the first thing. Surprised that a conference that has a code of conduct doesn't actually enforce it. I wrote a blog post about the 10 warning signs that the event won't enforce it. Well, you don't know if they're going to enforce it. That's why you got to rely on local laws and a little common sense on what the fuck you do. This, of course, is a response to the C3 conference organizers who refused to ban an attendee that choked another attendee even after seeing both hospital records and police report. Police report is incident of what one person said someone else did. Hospital records, you still don't know. I don't know maybe CC was in the wrong in this particular case. I know a lot of these fuckers out there are trying to also ban people from conferences for saying shit like, well, who's that Crockford guy who someone was saying he was slut-shaming the internet by saying the old internet was more promiscuous as anybody could see all the
Oh, yes, yes.
And also someone whined because he said, someone said, hey, he was talking about hot chicks on stage. No, he was talking about Nashville hot chicken, you morons. Anyway, so the current code of conduct looks good if you squint at it, but there's warning signs in the code of conduct. Friendly reminder, I train people to actually enforce a code of conduct by running a code of conduct incident response workshop for event staff. Are you willing to make a commitment to attendee safety, contact, and basically, to me, it's like, either do as we say and send us money and to train you, or we're going to call your conference non-inclusive or whatever, or an unsafe place.
How many followers do they have?
This
does he have?
I'm not sure what the pronoun. Actually, the pronouns are listed. It's they, them. Yeah,
but that doesn't say how many followers they have other than themselves.
730. Oh, that's right. My screen's not up. I forgot that. Hold on a second. Let me share my freaking screen. I meant to share my screen.
You gotta wonder. So much of this stuff is shady. My immediate thought is, how many of these followers are all these followers legit? They could be, but if it's just something that came out of nowhere, I'm guessing they were probably primed with a bunch of unless a news outlet or a very popular blogger mentioned them prior. They were primed as fake follows.
If you have to use the words diversity and inclusion consultant, that right there screams shakedown.
Explore
it's a college district.
We call what a karaoke is. That's as I recall, it's something that's really bullshitty. I'm going to look that up in a second. But she has 6,737 followers.
Give me the name of the account real quick.
Hold up. How about I post it in? Well, look on my screen right now.
_
Stage Sharp _.
Got it. 1 second.
I remember what karaoke. A karaoke is a term that was coined by Elizabeth Schulze, who is a radical feminist who studies liberation theology. Oh shit. Karaoke is a term that extends patriarchy to encompass and connect other structures of oppression and privilege, such as racism, ableism, capitalism, etc. Capitalism. If you
get off your high horse,
and I don't want you around me. People who talk bad about capitalism in general, unless they're very refined on what they're saying, like certain forms of capitalism, crony capitalism, if they don't be specifically, let's talk about, oh, capitalism's bad. You're not into meritocracy, and meritocracy is a real thing. You can fuck off, you piece of shit. Anyway, sorry, I'm passionate about that subject. Anyway, this person then goes on to create a hashtag. I'll be posting a thread of cock smells to talk about warning signs that an event or community won't enforce the code of conduct. Feel free to jump in with things you've noticed. Anyway, continue. What were you going to say?
I was going to say I'm running a bot checker on her, but...
here's some of the statements of, signs. If they say something like freedom of expression, I automatically expand this to freedom of expression for the privileged. Freedom of expression for everyone. if you allow hate speech, because all speech should be unrestricted, you silence the voices of people who face discriminatory attack. You can still speak. And what you all consider hate speech is saying something like what the Moore did, which is basically, well, you know, everybody has the capability of doing it, but not everybody equally wants to do something. Or
it's free speech with censorship. It's Orwell 101.
But they don't want anything that will hurt their feelings. We are all adults here. When an organizer says this, when they're introducing the code of conduct, I know that they've never had experience dealing with adult issues like harassment, stalking, domestic violence, or rape, or ever had to deal with a perpetual child like this person who can't deal in the real world and can't have anything hurt their feelings. Why don't we impose morality? In a moralist society, there are only consequences to your actions. Okay. If you don't reinforce your code of conduct, people may decide not to attend. You lose community trust or sponsorship to your event. There are some sponsors.
Wait a minute. Isn't that capitalism?
And some people you will lose. Some members you will lose, but some of those members you don't need. Go ahead.
But isn't that capitalism? The market dictating whether or not somebody attends your event?
Yes.
Isn't that counterintuitive of her hierarchy?
Perhaps. It doesn't directly involve money. Well, it does involve money to an extent. Damn it.
Don't you know attendance to Derbycon is forced and enforced by law of InfoSec?
Well, I'm going to talk specifically about that conference. I'm talking about this in general. Right. This is not an Anglo-American code of conduct. Discrimination in Europe is different from discrimination in the U.S. because there are different ethnic groups and different histories of oppression and violence. But it exists and needs to be handled with care, not dismissal. Okay, but the thing is big freedom of expression. Yes, there should be freedom of expression, and we are adults here. When people get all whiny about, let's say, a while back at that BSides San Francisco event where Violet Blue's talk on threat reduction got pulled because someone might get triggered. If you think you might get triggered, sorry for your problems in the past.
But don't attend to fucking talk.
Remove yourself from it because the title alone should have told you enough to stay away from it. Or there's people who get whiny about, for freedom of expression, someone put yoga pants up on the screen and someone's like freaking out like, sexism, sexism. And I called it out and people thanked me. No, probably no one thanked your nutty ass. Or the people who complain about, well, I brought up the whole hot chicken in Nashville and someone supposedly slut-shaming the web by saying the old web was promiscuous. These people do not belong in actual technical fields. They belong in hug boxes and insane asylums.
Maybe we need to make a completely separate internet for people who need to be in hug boxes.
We should make that. We should seriously make that.
People who are willfully misinterpret the words of others to vilify them, otherwise try to ostracize them when no harm is intended. People who demand others conform to a culture that's not normally theirs. I don't.
But if you conform to a culture, that's not normally there under demandment, then that means that we've had to appropriate it, and cultural appropriation is wrong.
I'm actually following that motherfucker. What the fuck?
I'm more confused. Everything's confusing.
A lot of this.
I have a horrible phobia that hit me hard today.
Mm-hmm.
Belly buttons might come untied.
Yeah.
How did it hit you hard today in particular?
Matt had laparoscopic surgery to remove his gallbladder via his belly button and like 3 other holes that they placed in him. So he's literally full of holes right now. And I made the mistake of when I was driving home, that thought crossed my mind, and then I'm like, oh my god, put on anything to get this out of my head. Because I was like freaking out. And turns out he has that same really irrational, stupid fear where we're like afraid that our belly buttons will come untied and our guts will fall out. And it's those things that we had when we were like little. And it's just kind of a whole this stupid phobia.
Hang on. That Sage Sharp person, I just found the most hilarious person following her.
Who?
Huh?
Jacob Applebaum.
Shit.
Wow. Oh. A lot of these people, a lot of these accounts, they alternate between really some of them alternate between really interesting technical talks and then
crazy
and then activism.
Yeah,
So
I'm
it's like,
this person. I'm pretty sure they follow what it was the Atheism Plus block butt.
oh god, that stuff.
Oh,
These people are they're trying to mandate politeness, and they're accusing anyone who is impolite of specific moral crimes that generally that in any reasonable interpretation would they're giving it a bad wrong label. You don't call someone rude guilty of a hate crime, yet that's pretty much the commonplace nowadays.
Mm.
But only people who were born the wrong way can be guilty of hate crimes. Born the wrong way, like if you're born for wrong skin color, you're guilty, and you say the wrong thing, you're guilty of a hate crime. Someone says the same abusive thing back at you, but were born the right way, they're just being empowered.
Would I be happy with a code of conduct? I'm pretty sure it would have to be one that is so restrictive on anything that vaguely mentions anything that might trigger someone sexually or make any kind of, like, if you say meritocracy, I'm pretty sure this person hates the term meritocracy.
You can't say that because it's what if someone doesn't want to be I don't know anymore. You see and that's my problem too. Is like code of conduct should be fairly simplistic, and what they're really asking for is a standard of ethics, which is just a little more in deal.
And I think people get triggered so much at different conferences for serious things. Like I posted a link on the show notes to my list of SJW bullshit at conferences. One, of course, being Violet Blues talk being pulled because it might put somewhat might trigger someone because it talks about threat reduction and not getting really toasted on drugs and having sex when you don't want to be having sex, that kind of thing. Dongle where Adria Richards freaked out because someone made dongle jokes behind her, not directed at her. She took a photograph of them, which I think may have been against the code of conduct at that Grrcon. Though nothing happened to her directly because of that. Though actually she got one of those guys fired.
She got fired. She got fired shortly after.
She got fired because she was a PR person and was incredibly bad PR. Because she cried about it later on when someone asked, "Do you feel bad about getting this guy fired?" Her response was something like, "Well, not very, because I'm half black and half Jewish and I'm a woman." Literally, that is like,
oh, what the fuck?
That was part of that was very close to what a quote was that I read. It was like, ugh. BSides Tower of Condoms, that triggered someone at Valley Rag. But it was, you know what? It was a lot of women building that fucking tower of condoms. Not to mention there was gay guys there. But they said some of this isn't inclusive of women because we have condoms there. Okay.
Wait, BSides Las Vegas?
This is at BSides Las Vegas in 2014.
I know. I was one of the ones building the tower.
There's a write-up on it. Go look at the link that I put in the show notes.
That was a big thing back. I remember that back then. Which is stupid if that's your excuse, because condoms are made to be used, intersexually. It's to protect both parties.
I know, right?
And the whole
power of penis.
Which I mentioned
at some point, I wonder what the value would be of, even if it's a big name person, the saying they're no longer welcome due to their unreasonable hostility towards large numbers of people in the InfoSec community. They may have valuable technical knowledge, but there's been plenty of people over the generations who are brilliant technically, but are horrible human beings, bigots, just human. Their personal views are just awful. We don't lionize their personal views just because they also have good technical skills or were very creative. And if someone is just a flagrant fucking asshole, I don't care if you have found some amazing new class of 0 days. Fuck off. You're terrorizing everyone else. As if you're going to bring that kind of stuff to the convention, if you can keep to yourself, keep your personal views, your blind hatred to other people, fine. I don't care if you're there. If you're there to police the language of others and try to get them fired from their jobs if they say something that you willfully misinterpret, fuck off.
Someone complaining about something happening in the Lockpick Village, and I'm not even sure what it is because he seems to take forever to get to it. Actually, read the Lockpick one. Can you tell me what she actually was complaining about in this? You commented telling someone they were creepy. How were they being creepy again? I'm trying to find what actually happened.
I have to point out that we are in a field where you could be unintentionally creepy.
Everyone can be unintentionally creepy. It says a lot of people came from that origin.
We have a lot of people with Asperger's spectrum, especially on the men's side, and we have at least a small cluster of women have.
Unfortunately, that aspect of it doesn't play well with.
And then you combine the small number of women and some men with cluster B personality disorders with a huge number of white knights who are desperate to get any kind of positive female attention, even if we know a certain person who treats shit like, oh, I love the Scum Manifesto, it's great, and these guys will like and retweet and give her positive support. Dude, she's saying some hideous fucking shit. It's
some of the people who are supporting them do so out of fear. I have found that some of the people support it absolutely do so out of fear.
Out of fear, why don't you just keep your mouth shut? Oh, DEF CON happened. Someone whining about that. It's an adult fucking game.
They're afraid that they're going to get called out, just like, I know. Yeah, I can think of a couple that you're talking about. They're afraid that if they say anything or they rub someone the wrong way, which is why they'll avoid it, or they'll kiss ass in hopes that they get on someone's good side.
There are some of the people who've gone to InfoSec conventions, well, not just InfoSec, but including InfoSec conventions, have pushed the some kind of slogan to the effect of, if you're not actively working to solve the problem, you are the problem. And I guess, some people who may have internalized that are afraid that
the thing is I don't disagree with that statement, which is why in a lot of ways, which is why I keep saying, a lot of these SJWs are so busy whining and swatting that no one's trying to do anything that's actually going to help fix things.
Because
they don't want to causing more problems.
Yeah,
they solve some, but they're causing many more.
All right, here's a quote. I'm gonna put it in my notes eventually. A quote from this Guardian article. Somebody getting fired is pretty bad, I said. I know you don't call for him to be fired, but you must have felt pretty bad. Not too bad, she said. She fought more and shook her head decisively. He's a white male. I'm a black Jewish female. He was saying things that could be inferred as offensive to me, sitting in front of him. I do have empathy for him, but it only goes so far.
This is community college level psychology 101 bullshit classes that have taught them just enough to say big words and not enough to understand the underlying concepts of what they're actually saying.
Being Jewish, I don't think I've ever seen a black Jewish woman in my entire life.
They exist.
I've seen one black Jewish guy, but that's it.
People will tape anything they can for the Oppression Olympics.
Hey, you want to know what my current status is?
What?
Hey, I'm a female, and I'm pagan, and I'm a conservative.
Oh, and someone said if he had Down syndrome,
pagan or pagan?
Sale Hayton.
Just real quick.
Oh yeah, I'm so conflicted. It's hurtful.
If he had Down syndrome and he accidentally pushed someone off of a subway, that would be different. I've seen things where people are like, Adria, didn't you know that she was doing? Well, Adrian didn't know what she was doing by tweeting it. Yes, I did. She has no empathy, nothing other than she's just a racist piece of shit. So she's a racist, sexist piece of shit.
And now I'm depressed again, so I'm going to go back to design.
No, I'm just trying to think how to, what would be the best kind of, I guess can't think of a better phrase than counter narrative or counter push to their code of conduct insistence, as without. Is there any way to go on the offensive, so to speak, against their blackmail / shaming campaigns?
Yes, and the answer to that is true inclusivity, which is what Bats and Pancakes were doing. True inclusivity, where whatever bullcrap they're doing, just take it to go, okay, we're going to ignore, we're going to accept that you're saying there's a problem with some of this shit, and now we're going to put things in place to fix it. And one of those things is actual inclusiveness, which is where we tried to commingle everyone in a developmental stance where people can share ideas, because that's the best way to fix it. Meanwhile, they're trying to box people into separate areas. But also saying this is what our code of conduct is, just laying out, and I've said this before. Very basic, simple. Don't be a dick. No sexual, misconduct at the thing. Local laws apply.
Well, if you're saying no sexual misconduct,
each other.
Who defines that? The Tower of Condoms? Is that sexual misconduct?
No. The local laws is okay. In Vegas, is having a tower of condoms sitting out in a public area illegal? No. So therefore, you can get pissed at it all you want. It's not illegal. I'm sorry you're upset.
So logic, but I don't think that will. I think that's pretty much going to be ignored by every single person pushing for a code of conduct without exception.
Yes, but you know what the trick to that is? Because they're children, you treat them like children. You say, that's nice, go cry it out.
But you can't do that. You can't do that. You'll hurt
I do, though, because I've had to tell
feelings.
No, but I do, because I deal with an odd teenager. She has oppositional what is it, ODD, oppositional defiance disorder, and the only way that you can do anything with it is you basically have to draw a hard line and stick with your guns and be like, no. And if she wants to cry and throw a shit fit or whatever, and the same way, dogs are the same way. If you draw the line and you stick to the line and you don't take a step back when they push, eventually they fall on the line. And the problem is it's consistency. So the thing is, because no one's being consistent with these little punks, that's the reason why we're having all this shit happen, is because no one has told them no and stuck to their guns.
Well, that's partly because they have institutional backers, quite a few of them.
Yes.
And they have been able to inflict a great deal of pain on a lot of people who, may not have realized that they could be blacklisted from an industry over something so innocent, like such as saying, I don't want to change everything I say. I don't want to change what I enjoy in life when that doesn't hurt anyone because you have some insecurity that it hurts you just by its existence that someone does it somewhere.
And then if that doesn't work, they'll go digging in your past.
Oh, I know. And the thing is, you can't fix it. The best you can do is try to ignore them and just keep moving on, because you can't fix it. And because they're psychopaths, they're narcissistic psychopaths. And as long as institutions think that's a good thing, it's going to keep happening. So the only way to do is ride the storm, because you can't fix it, because they are spoiled children. Every single one of them.
Normally, I would agree. Children. If this had no institutional support and just had a bunch of cultists with nothing more than the money from other cultists, I think that yes, that would be workable.
Well, the
when
thing
you have various news outlets, when you have
yes, but look, they're losing money now because they're supporting it. It's starting to come around and bite them in the ass. So the thing is, just
when
keep riding it out.
When you have various think tanks and when you have various think tanks that are now promoting this kind of crap.
No, ride it out, because it's starting to bite them in the ass. It's already starting to bite them in the ass. There's nothing you can do about it, but ride it out.
I read an article the other week about what's that? It was which DOD it was I forget which part of the DOD, but it was a CIO, either the White House, the Pentagon. Granted, I know, take it for what you will, it's CIO, but using the diversity rhetoric, as in, yes, this is there's not many women in it. We need to make everything more diverse. And while I have no problem getting more women into InfoSec, those words, the word diversity doesn't make me think this is not for gender balance. This is, let's encourage more witch hunting or warlock hunting, as some people put it.
Yeah, I know, and I agree with you, and I 100% agree with you, which is why I said the whole of singling out an individual sex, I believe, is wrong. I'm like, no, diversity, individuals create diversity, and it shouldn't just be let's just get more women. It should be let's get more interested people. Hey, honey.
That's what got the director of diversity and inclusion at Apple fired, because she said the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't understand why she got fired though. She was black and female. What incentive did Apple have to fire her? Were they afraid of bad headlines of their black female diversity officer?
Probably.
No, it was just what she said and how it was worded. That
it was against the cult of Apple.
Right.
Apple. So Tim Cook has Tim Cook has come out and publicly resisted a lot of the diversity comments in the past, saying that we think we do enough, we're not going to be doing more. So I don't think, I'm not convinced by that. I don't think that Tim Cook is a raging ideologue more than he already is. I don't think his number one goal in life is to make the world more diverse.
No, right now his thought is stay the course, and I have no original ideas of my own. Pretty much.
He's a businessman. He's not a creator.
Right.
He's a fine businessman, but he's not a Steve Jobs. Jeez. So, I originally was I was thinking, is there any way to get something new into the public discourse? The kind of thing that's, maybe I'm a bit too optimistic here, maybe change a bit what's reported in the news, any news outlet that does not come off as partisan. Is there any way to change that discourse to towards the goal of the means don't justify the ends? Then right, tormenting people for the sin of being born with the wrong skin color and genitalia? Is that really an acceptable way towards end goal of, getting more diverse people, getting people with more diverse ethnic and gender backgrounds in tech?
No, it's not. But this is the thing. The only thing you can do.
How do we introduce that into the public discourse?
Hey guys, I'm gonna bow out.
Do exactly what we're doing now and just talk about it like civil human beings, because eventually people will catch on. The problem is the way the media is set up. Don't expect the current status quo to accept anything we're saying. You basically would have to start your own news network, and then, which is, like I said, that's
the problem. I see is that with few exceptions, it's been primarily partisan news outlets that have been reporting on the other angle, and that's while those news outlets may be reporting accurately, the fact that it's coming from them, automatically gives it the impression of being partisan, mainstream partisan, and a lot of people who otherwise might listen ignore it. I'm not convinced that it's impossible to introduce this into the public discourse. I just don't think that the people who have gotten the public attention of this, the James Damores of the world, I don't think that they have made the best PR choices with regards to promoting their views.
And I don't disagree with you at all. But what I'm saying is it has to be a grassroots thing that gets repeated. Remember, it takes the months for the media to catch on to shit. It's not something we can just have happen tomorrow. It's something that you have to keep repeating, and keep speaking the truth. Because that's how the other side. But that's how the other side is doing it. Is they're repeating their lies over and over and over, and eventually, after 20 years or more, it's seeped into academia. So the only thing you can do to counter it is to do the same damn thing and just remind them this is what this is what it is. Just stay the course.
Is it just going to be on Twitter only, or is there going to be
No. Write like this. Talk about it. Talk to your friends about it. Talk to people about it. Write letters to the editor and pray they get published. Use a smaller local newspaper at first. Hope the AP picks it up. But it's one of those things that you have to keep the underlying hum going. You have to keep talking about, okay, this is not what everyone believes. This is what we believe too, and we have a right to be heard. Because right now, all that's happening is we're getting shouted down. Because we know we're going to get shouted down on Twitter. If you say anything on Twitter, they'll take it out of context anyway.
It's a little bit better off than Dev is. Dev work, I mean, so many people will totally, I want to use the term, cuck is not reserved only for the alt-right. Everybody should have the right to use the term cuck. And a lot of people will totally cuck themselves so as not to been a Twitter mob. Adam Morgan on YouTube and Twitter, spelled with a T on Twitter. He covers this a lot, and I've seen the people he ends up arguing with on Twitter, and I'm like, egads, I'm glad I'm not a developer.
Yeah.
All right. Is anyone aware of any kind of public write-up or like a centralized resource that says, you're going to do X or you're going to say X? Here's the backlash you can expect, such as you're going to host a conference. If you do not include this kind of code of conduct, here is what you should expect, and here's what you should plan for. Because a lot of these things are a lot less scary if you know what's coming, and if you can do something to prepare for it, or mitigate it, or head it off. Now, I'm not aware of any public resource, and oftentimes the people who get targeted are not straightforward about what happened to result in their decision. Hell, even Lambda Conf, who's been one among the most transparent, they have pretty much stated that more shit happened than they reported on, that more than just sponsors being harassed until they pulled out, more than just speakers being harassed until they pulled out, more than just attempts at harassing the organizers happened. And then it'd be really nice to know, like, I realize some of the stuff can be personal and touchy, but it's that kind of stuff that hurts the most, that if we don't know what it is, other people can't really prepare for it. They don't know what to expect.
Whether or not someone set something off, you really don't know. It depends on a certain. I remember this one person whined because someone put him on an anti-JW list and listed them as a ringleader. It's a good thing to say. If you get a couple of influential, or at least people with a lot of Twitter followers who get attention to it, then you might get a Twitter brigade. But someone else might do the exact same thing, and if no one notices, it's a little difference between someone with no followers tweeting out something and somebody with a few thousand.
Right, but it may not even be Twitter. It may just be some private Slack channel or some private Discord channel that may have 100 or 50 people in there. Maybe some fucking private Ventrilo. So you never really necessarily know that.
So which one is the list of, if you say don't do this, you should expect this result?
Like, let's say, here is what we did that got backlash. Here is the backlash that happened. If you were to try to do something similar, here's what you should do to try to mitigate the backlash or head it off, so that you can you can stick to your principles and not be caught unawares. That is not so scary when you know the beast you're facing. Sponsors pulling out, what to say to the sponsors, maybe tell them ahead of time. Oh, I don't know. There's some people who've been harassing us and stalking us. You may get a bunch of notifications from them. Just be aware of this. Is there an echo? I hear an echo out there.
Is this better?
Okay, so just be aware. Like, tell your sponsors this, or if you're an individual and you're worried that a speech you're going to make publicly might or is likely to get backlash, something to tell your employer, like, please be aware there may be a bunch of people who will call, or you trying to scare you, trying to make a bunch of complaints about me. Here's exactly what I'm going to be doing. This is and see if the employer says okay, as long as you do not mention us whatsoever. and we'll be cognizant that these people may call me, or that it's not our job to police your private conduct when you do not bring us into the mix, or something like that. I don't think all employers are going to be that friendly about it or that accepting, but some may be. Maybe it'd be strategies to talk to your employer about it.
To retaliate against stuff like that, actually, unfortunately.
So, what?
I've seen employers retaliate over shit like that.
Retaliate against their employee, or the people who called the employer trying to get the employee fired?
The employee.
So they retaliate against the employee for preemptively telling them, this is what you may get phone calls in the near future. Just be forewarned. And they retaliate before anything's actually happened.
I cannot give details, but I have heard of this. Yes.
I would like to hear more information about the specifics on that.
Not on the air.
Understood. That's fine. But there needs to be more information about, if you want to defend your rights or defend what you believe in, here's the risks, here's the threats you may face. Here's the best thing you can do to mitigate those threats, mitigate those risks. Be warned, here is what you may not be able to mitigate. Just give people strategies that they can speak out safely, or as safe as they can possibly be given the threats that they will face. Threats to their employment, threats to their financial situation, threats to their family, threats to their friends, threats to their employer. Because I have heard of at least one case where an employer who refused to fire their employee had their customers targeted. But I would hope that there would be more backlash or more people standing up for themselves if they knew how to do so safely. And I think I've repeated myself enough times, so we'll cut it off here.
And just so I can go in, yes, I agree with pretty much everything you said, and I think it's not just something someone's doing. We might have to start that, but I figured that you guys didn't want to hear me chewing on cheese because cheese is delicious.
Yum. It is delicious.
It is.
Stop being cheese off about cheese.
Crackers are noisy, but yeah, and the only thing I could think you could do is start a wiki, and start talking to people and ask them, would you be willing to write on a topic, or I'm researching this and can you give me some input? How did you guys mitigate, or what didn't work for you? Please stop. What doesn't work? Because that's the best. That's the best you can do. But at the same time, you also have to accept that there's a degree of random and a degree of crazy that you're just going to have to accept is very likely to happen.
Sure. Of course, you can't, just because something worked for someone else does not necessarily mean it'll work for you, and vice versa. But of course, that caveat can be mentioned. But as long as people are aware, I like to think that, like investing in the stock market, there's always a degree of risk, but you can mitigate that risk and try to account for as much as possible for the unknown. Try to hedge. Try to account as much as you can for the unknown.
Yeah, and that's the best that you can do, and it's the same way. Like even going back to like EMS firefighting, that's what we do. Is we know that there's major danger involved, but that's why you train. You train and you do the best that you can to try to make whatever you're doing as safe as possible, considering the high danger that you're in, regardless.
Trying to think. Importantly, it cannot be seen as a partisan, mainstream partisan effort, or else it would probably add ammo to. It would best be served not be seen as a partisan effort. So not be advertised by Cernovich or Roosh. Even if they may have credible, even many of their followers may be able to take advantage of it for completely, perfectly legitimate reasons, it's best seen as nonpartisan. That's where you get most of the groundswell, not just conservatives taking advantage of it, but also liberals standing up to the bullies in their midst. Though I do wonder if to what degree the threats differ between liberals and conservatives. And I'm sure that question is
well, on the conservative
much more
side.
so.
On the conservative side, we often wonder how much of this stuff because so many times you see like the shooters come out and it turns out that they're like longtime Democratic supporters and stuff like that. So we wonder how much of this is false flag sometimes. And I'm not going to deny that is one of those underlying things that runs through the mindset because what we've learned being attacked so often, and being on defense so often, is that you have to run through every single scenario. So it's not like you're saying, "Oh, this is what it is." It's like, no, but that is one of the scenarios that you have to filter stuff through, and that's even trying to be as. And not everyone is. You get knee-jerk reactions on both sides, and the media always goes to the knee-jerk reaction. It's just like that report. It's like hurricane happens down south. They'll find that one dumbass who's wading through 14 feet of mud and water and all kinds of shit sitting on his front porch, not evacuating, just because they want his comment.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll look for the lowest hanging fruit on the media at all times.
Yep.
But when I think the majority of people are much more center, and the majority of people on both sides are much more center, and the majority of people really just want to know what's going on. It's just that it's like the same tiny percentage of knee-jerk reaction people that gets put on the news constantly. And it is that low-hanging fruit that seems to become most popular because I think they're the most easily controlled by to parrot whatever
depict your opposition as crazy nut jobs, and it just helps to rally your base.
Yeah,
convince your base of your point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's about as much as I can think of on the topic for the time being. Any other topics on the agenda?
That's the only things I got for next week. People put some happy stuff.
Can Charles, have you done your tech thing yet? Because I was really looking
Charles
forward.
is not here.
Oh, he ran away! Damn it! Don't run away. You can't take a shower. They said no shower for you. I have to go rescue my husband.
Sponge bath.
He's full. Actually, yeah, probably. He's full of holes. He is. He's totally Swiss cheese right now. It's sad. Hey. Hey, baby. Are you okay going up and down the stairs? Huh? What? No, I'm live on the air. What's up? What do you want to show us? If tampons ads were honest. Maybe you should hop into the podcast because that's a hell of a lot more entertaining than some of the depressing shit we've been talking about.
I was tempted to sit there and show it to Tilly.
Sure, why not? That's great. We should. He's totally hopped up on Cody, and we probably should get him in stream on something entertaining.
More than welcome. You always talk about whatever you talk about now. I don't have anything else really else.
No, I'm gonna go hop over to Twitch and do some art. Or hello, dog.
All right. Well, I think we don't have anything else, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the broadcast. Thanks for everybody who joined us, and you all have a good night.
All right. Good night.
Have a good one.